there has been a big happening in the Candace Owens breakdown of Charlie Kirk. Candace Owens just a couple hours ago released a statement in her podcast stating that not just a statement, but screenshots of a text message thread with 9 individuals in it stating that Charlie Kirk was determined, had outright stated publicly in this, well, maybe not publicly, but with these 9 people in this text message that he was done with Israel. Done. He was getting pressure from, and I'll pull the text message up for you in here in just a second and let you read it or listen to it. Well, actually, let's start there. Let's go ahead and pull up Candace Owens speaking in her own words for you guys to hear regarding what happened with this text message thread. So let me go ahead and start that for you. Here we go.
He knew, and others knew, that Charlie was done with Israel bullying him, and I am now going to present you proof of what I am saying. This is an actual group chat, which happened 2 days before Charlie Kirk was assassinated. There were 9 people in total on this chat, including Charlie and Rob McCoy. I'm going to protect the names of the other 7 for now. To be clear, I might actually release a name every day this week, but I want to show you this because suffice it to say, Rob McCoy was on this text thread, and I think it helps contextualize him as a person, in my view, that he would attack me for telling the truth about the pressure that he was facing. Take a look. So Charlie writes in this group chat, just lost another huge Jewish donor, $2 million a year because we won't cancel Tucker. I'm thinking of inviting Candace. Somebody writes, ugh. Charlie writes, Jewish donors play into all of the stereotypes. I cannot and will not be bullied like this, leaving me no choice but to leave the pro-Israel cause. And somebody writes, a donor writes, please do not invite Candace. That might feel good short term, but it's not good long term. In my opinion, like all groups, you're going to get a wide variety of opinions. That nasty free will thing that God bestowed on us makes life frustrating at times after the dust settles a bit, maybe. So again, this is 48 hours before Charlie Kirk was assassinated. He was very clear and he was very explicit, and he did not back down, not in that Hamptons meeting, which they're all lying about, nor in this text thread. I'm not going to reveal the names of the other 7. Actually, you know what? I disagree with myself 4 seconds ago. Let's just throw in Josh Hammer for funsies. He's on this chat, okay? So what are we to make of that? Okay, now that I'm showing you this and showing to you that the conversations were real, I want you to reflect, and it took me a lot of patience to allow the lies that were being woven and the misrepresentations of people that were pretending that I was just, high on lying about Charlie and the pressure he was under, the attacks that not just me, Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly faced for trying to stand up and tell the truth about what Charlie was actually going through. Why are you hearing it, though, from me and Tucker Carlson and Megyn Kelly? Isn't that weird? You got people that are hosting a show. Have they, in like one honorable thing, come out and said, like, you know what? F a couple of these donors who made his life a living hell in the last couple of weeks. Why haven't they done that?
Well, I could tell you, and I've talked about it before, the reason that they haven't done that is exactly the reason she's probably alluding to, which is the fact that they're being bought and paid for too. All of these influencers, every one of them talking about Israel, all of them you see flying over to Israel and being towed around, they're all being paid. We know that because of the FARA submission now, that they're being paid somewhere between $6,000 and $7,000 per post. Not per month, per post. Right? You see Dinesh D'Souza, you see Officer Tatum, you see all of the Turning Point influencers now, all of the PragerU influencers, which they've been doing it for a long time. It's nothing new for them. You see all these up-and-coming influencers now who are accounts are growing like crazy out of nowhere, it seems like. Well, it's not out of nowhere. There's actually this weird kind of thread that I'm going to pull on, which is these third-party accounts that these accounts are collaborating with, that I think are they're just basically accounts that have gained enough of a following from posting for long enough that they get to pass the influence on to these other influencers now. So you'll see that these influencers are collaborating on Instagram with these no-name right-wing news accounts that aren't an actual real news organization. They've just been posting forever to get a following. And now they collaborate with these new up and coming influencers, giving those influencers more views, more follows, more followers as a result without actually having to work for it like other people. Right? Interesting. So another thread to pull on. Who owns those accounts? That's interesting to me. Who is peddling influence towards these specific individuals? Also interesting. But when it gets to the highest level, like she's referencing here, it's very obvious. Those people are bought. Those people are paid for by the same donors, by the same people that submitted that FARA submission, by the same people paying $6,000 to $7,000 for influencers to talk about a specific government in a positive light, and influencers who are saying negative things about that government for maybe killing tens of thousands of innocent children and women. You know, if they say anything negative about Israel, you will get a swarm of large influencers going after you, right? You see this Chicks on the Right Instagram account. Like, I'm not sure who even listens to these women, but all they've done over the last 2 months, even longer than the Charlie Kirk assassination, is just going after Candace, going after Candace, going after Candace. Well, why? Well, they're not being paid by Israel, but they are in partnership with PragerU, which is being paid by Israel and also is owned by an IDF intelligence soldier, previous soldier. The woman who is the CEO and runs PragerU is actually former IDF intelligence. But yeah, you're not being paid by Israel, just like you said on your Instagram post. Okay, right? So many of these accounts now, all taking money, all peddling the idea, trying to infiltrate it. And we'll actually get into the details of this in just a few minutes from now after we get through this whole situation with Candace, where we're actually going to discuss what those filings actually say and how they're actually, because the $6,000 to $7,000 only came out because they filed, right, or under the Foreign Agent Registration Act. And so we can actually see the verbiage around that. You can see some of the, I believe, the accounts. So we'll look at those too. And we'll actually look at how they're going after this, because it's much deeper than just the influencers on Instagram. It actually goes into religious institutions, which we'll get into a little bit later. But first, let's discuss this text message here. Right now, who could this mysterious donor be that Candace Owens is referencing? Who could that mysterious donor be that pulled out $2 million from Turning Point USA because Charlie had Tucker speak? Who could that be? Well, I'll tell you who that is. But let's break this down first. She says Charlie Kirk just lost another huge Jewish donor, $2 million a year, because we won't cancel Tucker. I'm thinking of inviting Candace. Charlie goes on to say, Jewish donors play into all of the stereotypes. I cannot and will not be bullied like this, leaving me no choice but to leave the pro-Israel cause. Now, if you're not pro-Israel, it doesn't make you anti-Israel. Kind of. But it does mean that you're no longer going to promote that idea. Right now, this was obviously happening inside of him. The fact that this was less than 48 hours, right? Because this happened at 4 o'clock. This text message thread, he was assassinated at 1 o'clock, 2 days later. Less than 48 hours later, after saying to these influential people in this text thread, leaving me no choice but to leave the pro-Israel cause. I'm done. I'm over it. I'm going to double down on people who are speaking out against this. I'm changing teams. So he wasn't just saying, I'm no longer pro-Israel. He was saying I'm anti-Israel because he's going to platform these people. He's going to go after Israel for the terrible things that they're doing. Now, gets a response. Please don't invite Candace. That might feel good in the short term, but it's not good in the long term, in my opinion. Right? That nasty free will thing that God bestowed on us makes life frustrating. I'm pretty sure that was the pastor that she alluded to earlier that's been going after Candace as well. Which makes it really interesting when she's talking about the whole faith thing. She's been saying that Charlie Kirk was no longer kind of identifying within the Judeo-Christian path. He was more so looking at interested in Catholicism and was starting to attend Mass. He wasn't going to change over, but he was at least interested in it. Well, and the person that this texted that responded to Charlie Kirk was his pastor. And also his children run the Turning Point faith portion of the company. Now, if he's the pastor and Charlie decides to, I don't know, become Catholic, he's probably no longer the pastor, which means his children are no longer running the faith organization of Turning Point because it may turn into a Catholic sentimented organization. Also,